Imagine waking up, pouring your morning tea, and before your first sip, an entire war begins, and ends. It sounds impossible, but in 1896, it happened. The Anglo-Zanzibar War became the shortest conflict in recorded history, lasting just 38 minutes. A sultan defied the British. Cannons roared. Hundreds died. And before the dust could settle, it was all over. This is the incredible story of history's briefest war. Zanzibar, a small island off the coast of East Africa, was once a global hub of trade. Spices, ivory, and slaves passed through its ports. By the late 19th century, the British Empire had gained enormous influence in the region. Zanzibar was declared a British protectorate, and although it had its own sultan, real power belonged to London. The British supported Sultan Hamad bin Thuwaini, who ruled peacefully under their influence. But on August 25, 1896, Sultan Hamad died, suddenly, and under mysterious circumstances. Just hours later, his cousin, Syed Khalid bin Barghash, seized the palace and declared himself Sultan. This bold move infuriated the British, who had their own candidate in mind. They issued Khalid a clear ultimatum: step down and leave the palace, or face war. Khalid refused. He fortified the palace, raised the Sultan's red flag, and gathered a defense force of nearly 2,800 men. Most of them were palace guards and civilians with outdated weapons. His confidence, however, was high. He believed the British wouldn't dare attack. Meanwhile, the British assembled 3 warships in the harbor: HMS St. George, HMS Thrush, and HMS Sparrow. They also brought in 150 sailors and marines, and placed them on shore with a Gatling gun. On the morning of August 27, Rear Admiral Harry Rawson issued a final message. "If you do not lower your flag and vacate the palace by 9 a.m., we will open fire." Khalid didn't respond. He stayed inside, hoping the British were bluffing. They weren't. At exactly 9:02 a.m., British cannons fired the first shots. The shelling targeted the palace, the royal yacht, and nearby defenses. The Sultan's palace stood no chance. It was reduced to rubble within minutes. By 9:40 a.m., the red flag over the palace had been torn down. Zanzibar's forces were decimated. Over 500 were killed or wounded. The British suffered just 1 injured sailor. As for Khalid, he escaped through a back door, fleeing to the German consulate where he was granted asylum. He would later be smuggled out of the country and live the rest of his life in exile. With Khalid gone, the British installed their preferred sultan, Hamad bin Muhammad, who ruled as a loyal puppet. The British Empire tightened its grip on Zanzibar, and the island remained under British control until independence in 1963. The war, if you can call it that, lasted just 38 minutes. There was no treaty, no negotiations, no drawn-out conflict. Just a warning, a bombardment, and silence. Today, the Anglo-Zanzibar War remains a bizarre historical footnote. A reminder that even the most powerful empires sometimes settle disputes not with diplomacy, but with a stopwatch.